Welcome back. We are in Carrollton, Texas. I'm Michael Knight. I'll be rejoined by Matt Reynolds. He's been along for the ride since 9:10 this morning. He'll be back for the second half, taking this first half off, while I handle the play-by-play duties for our next game featuring the Texas Frontline and the Texas Express, and we're underway. The Frontline nearly stealing that ball across the floor. The Frontline come in at 2-0 in pool play, one win away from a perfect pool going into tomorrow's bracket play. The Texas Express come in at 1-1. The Express retaining possession. 3-ball on the way from the corner is off the mark and into the hands of the front line. So now they'll get their first crack on offense. And let's give you the lineup for them. Faith Johnson, Lindsey Bryan, Letitia Selby, Brianna Oliver, and Sydney Rose. That's the starting five for the front line, and we have a whistle and a turnover. And so we'll give you the five for the Express now. Running the points and walking it up to half court is Ariel Wise. You also have Allie Demerit, Nicole Lynn, and another turnover. We'll give you the last two right now while they're taking some time. Heather Davis and Sarah Salama are the five for the Express. Off the miss, you have the Express moving right to left. They are the designated home team this afternoon. Shelby with a steal, and as she's getting up, she travels with it, and it goes right back to the Express. So early on, we've played about a minute now, and it's very clear that both teams struggling to maintain possession. Several turnovers already, nearly another turnover. Should have been a palming at least twice there, as Salama has it. She's at the top of the key. Had a pick, didn't use it, lost her defender anyway, and now Demerit has it. She's at the free throw line. Goes to her left, in the corner for three. It's off the front of the iron, and Brown comes up with it for the front line. Or excuse me, Bryan. Bryan going to take it coast to coast with the right hand. Can't get the floater to go. Rose going up with the putback, and she can't get it, so she'll go to the free throw line on the foul to shoot two. Sydney Rose. Standing at the free throw line. Couple dribbles. Up with a shot, and it's short. Both teams still scoreless here. Second free throw is in and out, no good. Frontline had their hand on it for a moment, but the Express come down with it very quickly the other way. How about the moves of Ariel Wise? She couldn't finish, but slicing and dicing in between the defenders. Now back the other way comes the Frontline. Rose quickly to the basket again. But before she puts up the shot, she walks, and it goes back over to the Express. Several turnovers already in this one, and we're still scoreless. We've almost played 2 minutes. In fact, we're 5 seconds away from that 2-minute mark. That's 2 minutes played. We haven't played a full first half. The Express trying to drive baseline. Demerit gets the pass at the free throw line. Shot is no good. Salama with the board. Struggling to get rid of Shelby. Now gets it to a teammate. DeMart right in front of our location. Now goes to Wise. Wise wants to dribble drive. Pass out to Salama. Salama thought about a three. Now drives with the right hand towards the top of the key. Almost had it poked away. Now we get a reach-in call. Salama being harassed by Faith Johnson. 13:36 left in the first half. And 3-ball is good. Three-ball good from Nicole Lynn. And now a turnover, and then right back to the front line. Bryan up to Shelby. Shelby can't get the easy layup. And on the putback, she's fouled, so she'll go to the free throw line to shoot two. That is Letitia Shelby. The front line still looking for their first points of the afternoon. This is their second trip to the free throw line as a team. Sydney Rose went 0 for 2 from the charity stripe last time. The first free throw is good. Frontline on the board. Brianna Oliver has checked in for the front line. Sydney Rose has taken his seats. And second free throw is off the front of the iron, no good. Express pick up their dribble. Dangerous pass, ball still loose, it goes out of bounds. They're going to say that it was last touched by Shelby's foot. And now Madison Landers checks in for the front line as Shelby will sit down. 3-1 is the score, low scoring affair. Both teams struggling offensively in this one. The Express go coast to coast. Ariel Wise, very good ball handler, very good as far as getting in between the defense and driving. And she's able to finish on that one. It's now 5-1. Johnson quickly to the hoop. She gets that to go. So now it's starting to pick up a little bit. Not going to get too overly excited as it's just a couple of possessions back to back. Things could slow down again. Salama uses a pick, gives it off to Wise. Wise again slicing into the lane. Can't finish though. Nearly stole it from behind, but she's going to get called for the reach in on Ariana McFarland. Brown. That's the second time now. Lindsey Bryan is at the top of the key. She's going to pull up for three. That one's off the mark and it goes out of bounds. Nobody touched it. It goes over to the Express. And now some full court pressure being displayed from the front line. Salama understands that she's probably going to need some help to cross half court. And we're going to get a foul on Bryan. Trapping Heather Davis between her and the inline, and they're going to get called for the foul. Personally, I thought it was pretty good defense. Salama working on Johnson, and there's another whistle, this time on Johnson. The referee on the near side of the court made the call on a play that happened on the far side, as opposed to the referee that's over there already. Checking into the game, first checking out is Heather Davis. Into the game is Jessica Riles. Riles in the post right now. Salama nearly had it taken away. Gets it to Riles. Riles, they're going to say it's a jump ball as Shelby has checked back in for the front line. Possession arrow favors the front line, so they'll get it. Texas taking on Texas. Express and the front line going at it right now. Express with an early advantage, 5-3. 11:15 left in the first half. Shelby off the glass, no good. Rebounded to the Express. 3-on-1 situation, now a 3-on-2. Wise reverse layup, gets it to go. What a pretty play by Ariel Wise. She now has 4 points. And we're going to get the official barking at the scores table. I didn't hear him. I'm assuming the scores table did. Under 11 minutes to go, 7-3 is now our score. Both teams continuing to struggle to find an offensive identity. Sydney Rose wants it in the corner. She's not going to get it as the ball flies out to Shelby. Shelby pulls up at the free throw line, no good. Once again, a brawl for the rebound. Finally, Ariel Wise comes up with it. She's been the star of the game so far. It's still early. Sarah Salama for three. Can't get it to go. Off the front of the iron. Shelby comes up with it. Bounce pass to Bryan. Bryan goes to Rose. Now into the corner. Back up top to Bryan. Closing in on 10 minutes to go in the first half. It's 7-3 in favor of the Express. A 3 ball on the way. Now it's 7-6. in favor of the Express, but Lindsey Bryan is into the score sheet. That's her first basket, and it's for 3. Under 10 minutes to go. Express moving to the far side. Demerit has it near half court. Now goes back to Wise. Wise traveled with it. She's good, and she's fast, but she's not that good. She's not that fast that the ref didn't see that. So far, Ariel Wise has been impressive on the offensive side of the ball in an otherwise stagnant offense. Bryan, left wing, gets a pick. Now to the roller off the pick. That was Shelby. She's fouled going up on the shot. She's standing at the free throw line right now, ready to shoot 2 free throws. Atisha Shelby went 1 for 2 on her last trip to the free throw line. And now she is 2 for 3, gets 1 more. And we're knotted up at 7 apiece. And we stay at 7. Offensive board by Rose. Ball goes out of bounds. Should be last touched by the Express as she hit the deck on that one. And will be Frontline ball. Inbounded to Shelby. Shelby. Now Bryan in the corner. She wants another 3, gets it to go. Lindsey Bryan heating up. Couple trays, and now the Frontline lead 10-7. Demerit skips it into the corner. Driving baseline. Now out for 3. Got it. What a response by Heather Davis. Heather Davis with a triple. And it's knotted up again at 10 apiece. 9 minutes left. Bryan gonna pull up for a 3. Heat check. Got it. You might want to put a hand in her face. Lindsey Bryan with 9 points. 3 trays all in a row, and the Frontline back on top, and the Express throw it away. Walking it up. Lindsey Bryan, another 3, no way. Got it, but no shot. A foul away from it. An illegal screen on Shelby, but Bryan knocking down another 3. Unfortunately for them, it's not going to count. And we're going to have a timeout. And Texas Express want time. Well, so far the difference in this game for the Frontline has been Lindsey Bryan with 3 trays. And for the Express, Ariel Wise, her ability to slice and dice into the paint as you take a look at the Frontline huddle. I can't imagine they're saying more than just give the ball to Bryan. Let's see how far she can take this shooting streak that she's currently on. Inbound pass to Wise. Wise walking it up to the timeline. Crosses. Looking into the heart of the defense. Goes to Demerit into the corner. Thought about a 3. Now Wise has it. Back to Demerit. All alone under the basket. Can't finish. Heather Davis. Shelby grabs the rebound. Up ahead goes Shelby. Ball tipped out of bounds. Last touched by the Express. Bryan set to inbound. Underneath, you have Sydney Rose. Can't get it to go. He gets the follow-up. And now Wise going to be met by Bryan at half court. Blows right past her. Goes all the way to the basket. but waiting for was Shelby Rose for the charge. Foul on Wise. As Bryan goes across half court. She has 3 trays here in the first half as we pass the halfway mark of the first half. Angling to the free throw line, now going to Shelby. Shelby wants to drive, and we're going to have a foul away from the ball. Referee barking out what the call is. A foul on the Express. Coming in for the front line is Brianna Oliver. Oliver subs in while Madison Landers will sit down. Inbound pass to Bryan. Bryan working her defender, now goes to Rose. Rose back to Bryan. Back to Rose. Rose drives with the left, puts it up with the right, and gets it to go. Rose has 4 points, and Wise will cross half court. Using a pick, but going the other way. Wise immediately into the lane, now kicks it out to Davis, and Davis double dribbled. (17-10) in favor of the front line with 6:44 left in the first half. Working her defender, now going into the corner. She was standing on the inline though. That was Brianna Oliver. Had her heel on the inline, out of bounds. It'll go over to the Express. The Express haven't done much in a long time offensively. And pass out. Loose ball. Shelby comes up with it, and she's going to walk all the way in for an easy right-hand layup. Shelby now has 4 points. Salama guarded very closely by Shelby. Getting a pick. Floats one down low, and now out to Davis. Davis to Riles. Riles airballs it out of bounds. (19-10). 6 minutes and 2 seconds left. Driving baseline, up with the shot, rolls around but gets it to go. Wow. Nice touch by Brianna Oliver for her first basket. And the front line lead is now double digits. 21-10, out of bounds, but there's a foul. Both referees agree that Salama took a spill on the baseline. Three ball on the way, no good. Goes over the backboard and out of bounds from Salama. Sarah Salama. The front line, I don't know. They were waiting for Salama to finish tying her shoe before they allowed the front line to inbound the ball. And here we go. Rose into the front court. Hands off to a teammate. We're going to get a hand check foul as the referees starting to make their presence known in this game. Haven't had a whole lot of fouls called so far, but here lately they've been quick to blow the whistle. Offensive board, second chance opportunity upcoming for the front line off that miss. They lead by 11. Largest lead for either team without a doubt here. Rose attacking the basket, blocked out of bounds by Demerit. I say out of bounds, they save it. Up ahead to Salama. Can't get the layup to fall. And now they turn over on the front line, and Salama gets that one. Her first basket. And now it's 21-12. Foul at half court. Couple new entries for the Express. Ariel Wise comes back into the game while Mia Perry checks in for the first time for Texas, and that's the Texas Express. Driving to the basket, now dishing it off, going baseline, can't get it. Offensive board. Now Johnson goes to the free throw line. To Jordan, Oliver Jordan, shot at the high elbow, or excuse me, Brianna Jordan gets it to go. 4 points for her. And now it's an 11-point lead. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. And if you want to order any of the webcasts of any of the games, whether today, yesterday, tomorrow, or Sunday, and on the miss, it's plugged up. And Johnson took a nasty spill, hitting the wall and the padding. The referee showed off some hops there, getting it unplugged from the backboard. Johnson going to have free throws as she walks it off. If you want to order any of the webcasts, whether they be today, yesterday, tomorrow, or on Sunday, you have that option. Just go to PrimetimeSports.com. That is Primetime Sports, sports with a Z at the end of it, .com. And if for any reason you have trouble getting an order in on the website, you can always call them at 972-355-3788. There is a timeout on the floor. That number one more time to order your copy of any of the games, 972-355-3788. You can watch live for free. And when you go make your order, not only have we had a camera here on Court 5, and we've had a webcast for every single game on Court 5 featuring commentary, but we also have several cameras set up on other courts, so you'll be able to purchase those games as well. Those are obviously cheaper than the games that have commentary on them. These words aren't free. They're a little bit more. Not much more, but just a little bit. 23-12 is the score. Johnson back at the free throw line. She looks okay after taking a nasty spill on the baseline. First free throw is good. That was her first trip to the free throw line, and she's now 1 for 1. She has 3 points on the afternoon. Second free throw on the way. Bounces around and hits the top of the backboard and will not go. Express working around a defender, and we are going to get a 5-second call as Faith Johnson was in Ariel Wise's hip pocket that entire time. Sydney Rose inbounds to Lindsey Bryan. Bryan backing up towards the center circle. 3.5 minutes left. They've doubled up the Texas Express, 24-12. Now Bryan for three. She was hot earlier, in and out on that one as the Express save it from going out of bounds. Down the lane they come, and Sarah Salama, or excuse me, that is Nicole Lynn on the three-pointer that was missed. DeMeritt was down there to try to get the rebound, couldn't get it. Goes out of bounds and over to the front line. Texas front line at 2-0 in pool play, looking for an unbeaten pool play and take a lot of momentum into tomorrow's bracket play. And we will have all the games on Court 5 once again tomorrow when the games start meaning just a little bit more. Shelby throwing it down on the baseline, nearly throwing it away. It was last touched by the Express. Staying with the front line. Inbound pass to Shelby at the free throw line. Backs up. Goes to Bryan. Bryan back to Shelby. Shelby into the corner. 3-ball. In and out. No good. And out of bounds. Staying with the front line. Inbound pass to Shelby. Shelby to Rose. Rose finds Bryan in the corner for 3. Got it to go, but before the shot, there was a whistle and another illegal screen. Three-ball in the corner from Wise. It was just a little too short. Bryan comes up with a rebound. The front line have still doubled up the Express. Now looking for more. Can't get it. Demerit with the rebound. Now they throw it away to Shelby. Shelby can't get it to go. But she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. That is Letitia Shelby, who's been to the free throw line twice. She is 2 for 4 from the charity stripe. She has 4 points. And we have exactly 2 minutes left in the first half. After this free throw, we'll take a look at the broadcast schedule. Can't get the first one to go. Next game is scheduled to start at 4:30. I'm once again going to go out on a massive limb and say that we will not start the Texas Lady Tigers Gold and the West Texas Wildcats at 4:30 unless there's a forfeit. Ain't happening. Next game is at 5:40. Once again, I'm assuming all these games are going to be pushed back. But the next game after that, Oklahoma Lady Vols will take on the Comets. Then after that, we have Monroe taking on the Texas Lady Tigers off that free throw miss from Shelby. Then we have ETE taking on the Comets. And finally, we'll end our night with a game that's supposed to start at 9:20. I don't even want to think about what time that game will start at. It'll be the Texas Lady Tigers 2015 version against the West Texas Fuse number 2. Let's look at the broadcast schedule. We're back to action after an Express turnover. The Texas front line in control both of the ball and this game, period. 90 seconds left in the first half, and they've doubled up the Express with a 24-12 lead. Rose has it left wing, now goes into the corner to Bryan. Bryan looking for a teammate, goes back to Rose. Rose will dish it off to McFarland. McFarland back to Rose. Angling towards the top of the key. McFarland launches a 3 with the left hand and gets it to go. McFarland with her first basket of the game, and it comes from three-point land, 27-12. It was 24-12 for a long time. Now we're under a minute. Davis working around a defender. That was Rose, adding a little too much pressure as she gets called for the foul. Inbound pass to Salama. Now taken away, Rose with the steal. Rose pulls up, gives back to Bryan. Bryan with the floater, can't get it to go. Battling for her own miss. It goes all the way out, and the 3-ball is off the mark. Demerit with the rebound. Almost had it taken away from her from behind. It does go out of bounds. Last touch by the front line. That 3-ball was from Madison Landers. That was off the mark. 30 seconds left. 27-12 is the score. Salama walking it up past half court. They got an opportunity for one more shot here as Salama looking for DeMarc. She found him. Her. And now finding, that's Heather Davis in the corner. Ball gets poked out of bounds. It's going to stay with him. Lazy pass picked off by the front line. 10 seconds left. McFarland all the way, can't finish. Battling for the rebound with her own teammate. Now DeMart comes up with it. Up to Davis. 1 second. 3 ball at the buzzer. Can't get it to go. And we've reached the end of the first half. It's 27-12. And it's been all Frontline as they went on a massive run and have completely shut down the Express. Taking a look at the halftime stats, going to be real quick for the Express. 4 points for Ariel Wise. Heather Davis was finished with 3. Nicole Lynn finished with 3. And Sarah Salama finished with 2. For the Texas Frontline, it was Lindsey Bryan opening the game up with 3 triples in the first half. She finished with 9. Letitia Shelby finished with 4. McFarland finished with 3. Brianna Oliver with 4. Faith Johnson with 3. And Sydney Rose chipped in with 4 points. We'll be back with Matt Reynolds and the second half in a moment. Right now it's 27-12 at the half. Frontline on top of the Express in the 2014 Primetime Sports National Championships live from Carrollton, Texas. 27-12 is our score as we start the second half. The Express will have it. Out of the halftime break, they trail by 15. Quickly into the paint, dishing it out. Nice look for three. In and out, no good. Rebound to Lindsey Bryan. Bryan up ahead. She had 3 triples in the first half. This time she's going to attack the basket. Now dish it out to a teammate. Up to Sydney Rose. Rose to Shelby. Shelby across to Bryan. Bryan for 3. Looks good. It left it short. Right on target, but off the mark just a tad bit. Shelby nearly picked that pass off. Now Davis thought about another look at a 3. Now Salama goes to Demerit. Demerit back to Salama. Give and go, and can't get the finish. As Brianna Oliver comes down with the board. Lindsey Bryan goes to Rose. Rose to Johnson, but before Johnson shot.
Shuffled her feet.
Shuffled her feet, and it's an easy call for the referee there on the travel. Played nearly a minute here in the second half. It's been all Frontline for a long time, Matt. I know you were in and out of the gym, but overall impressions of the first half. Lindsey Bryan dominant there with three consecutive trays to really jumpstart the Frontline offense.
Yeah, Lindsey Bryan throughout this tournament has been one of the most impressive players shooting the ball, as yesterday she had a nice performance in the game that we saw here on court 5 and hit several three-pointers, and she's done the same today, and I expect her to continue into the second half and knock some more down, as well as she's a nice passer, sets up her teammates well as well.
27-12 is the score. Frontline driving into the paint, right-hand layup, gets the lucky roll for Faith Johnson. Her first basket in here in the second half, and that's the first basket for either team. She now has 5. 29-12, a little trap defense, but they call the Dogs off, and now we're going to have a whistle and a reach-in foul on the front line.
Johnson was in foul trouble yesterday. She ended up with 4 fouls.
29-12 is the score. Inbound pass to Salama. Dangerously close to the half-court line, but she gets away from it. Gets it to DeMart. Back to Salama. Salama with a left-hand dribble. Gives it off to Wise. Wise slings the ball into the corner. And now gets back to Wise. Slicing and dicing. Finds an open teammate in the corner for 3. In and out, no good. Davis with the rebound. The shot was from Nicole Lynn. And going up on the putback was Heather Davis. Couldn't get it to go, but she was fouled going up. She's at the free throw line right now shooting 2. First trip for the Texas Express to the free throw line today. And it's coming with 13:52 left in the second half. Second free throw is no good. She goes 1 for 2 on that trip. Has 4 points. And Lindsey Bryan tosses into the corner on the baseline. Ball goes out of bounds. Demerit was fighting for it. And it was last touched by the front line, and we have a quick timeout early on here in the second half. Next game coming up will feature the Texas Lady Tigers Gold against the West Texas Wildcats, who have even crazier uniforms today.
Really?
We saw them yesterday, and they had the black with the highlighter green and pink. Now, like, the main color on the jersey is just highlighter green. It's about to get really bright in here. I'm just saying.
That would be pretty bright.
Coming out of the timeout, the Express should have the ball. They trail 29-13. Inbound to Sarah Salama. Salama attacking the defense. Now going down to Demerit. Demerit, pass, out of bounds. Unforced error, but they're going to say the front line touched it last. Inbounded to Demerit, all alone in the corner. She's going to throw up a three, gets it to go. That's her first basket of the game.
Maybe they can get her and the Express going. It's a nice three-point basket with the hand on her face there late, and she was able to still muster up the shot right with the defender's hand on her face and net it.
Nice little floater in the lane. Can't get it to go, but Shelby's there for the putback. And Demerit gets the miss. Wise up ahead. Drives, throws it in the corner, and saved from going out of bounds. Salama now drives with the right hand. Can't get it to go. Rose with the rebound. Up ahead to Shelby. Shelby in the front line, firmly in control. Although, I mean, you say that, only up by 13.
Yeah, and we've seen it. We've seen 20-point leads evaporate in the second half.
Yeah, the Express with a nice block, but it gets right into the hands of Sydney Rose.
It's a pass.
That was unfortunate unfortunate for the Express there, as it was a fantastic defensive play, but just incredibly bad luck. Three ball on the way for Salama, way off the mark, trying to save it from going out of bounds, but to the wrong team was the Express. Bryan on the attack. Gets it to Shelby. Shelby with the layup, got it to go, and the foul. Letitia Shelby with 6 points. And she will go back to the free throw line where she's been up and down so far this afternoon. 2 for 6 from the free throw line.
Free throws are key now in this game. They're so far out ahead, you know, it may not end up mattering, but when the front line gets into bracket play tomorrow, Saturday afternoon, they are going to come into a game where they're going to need to step up and make their free throws.
Missed the free throw on that one. It's 33-16. Front line continuing to pull away. 11:53 left, and the Express turn it over. Sloppy pass. Just a little too high. Coming up next, we have West Texas going up against the Texas Lady Tigers as the front line content with letting some of the time trickle off the clock. Ball poked away, but we're going to have a reach in on Mia Perry. The front line getting set to finish off an unbeaten and undefeated pool play. And if you want to recap any of the pool play games from the Texas front line, you can order those webcasts at PrimetimeSports.com. That is Primetime Sports with a Z.com. Off the miss, Sarah Salama going back the other way. Throwing it up. Can't get it to go. Off the backboard. Shelby comes down with it. Lindsey Bryan, who has been very quiet since she hit those 3 trays in the first half to really put the front line out for good, or up for good. Hasn't been heard from, although she hasn't needed to be. And ever since then, she's been more of a facilitator as they turn the ball over here.
Yeah, that's the thing with her, is she doesn't always have to be scoring to affect the ball game in a positive way. She can set her teammates up for easy shots, which is more of what she's done here in the second half.
The Express trying to get something going. They throw it away over to Shelby. Shelby, 3-on-2, attacks, gets the layup to go. Letitia Shelby with 8 points. Now Sarah Salama with the left hand goes into the corner to Lynn. Back up to Davis. Davis going to reset the offense here. Working in between a couple defenders. Closing in on 10 minutes left in the game. Nice backdoor cut from Lynn, and she finishes. Nicole Lynn now has 5 points. Lindsey Bryan. Shelby in the lane, whistle underneath the basket. Shelby nearly traveled with the ball, but before she did, there was a whistle on the Express.
Frontline in complete control of this one. We could see a running clock maybe towards the end of the second half here if they can continue on their run.
Is that a legitimate thought or a hopeful thought?
No, I think that's pretty legitimate. They're just 8 points away. They keep building on this lead.
It is a legitimate thought, but I think it's more hopeful. I want to get back on schedule. That's the main thing. We're way behind as far as game times. It sounds silly to promote a 4:30 game between the Texas Lady Tigers and the West Texas Wildcats when it's already 4:30. And we still have 9
minutes to go.
Yes, 9 minutes left. Lindsey Bryan, meanwhile, swings left, now into the corner. Back to Bryan up top. They're holding on to a 17-point advantage, but the front line need a timeout to draw something up. Maybe they draw up a 3 to extend this lead to 20. And there will not be a running clock until they have a 25-point lead. Just to refresh you on the rules. At that time, there will be a running clock, and it will not go back to a regulation clock until the team that was down by 25 has gotten the deficit to at least 20. Looking into the Texas Frontline huddle. Really the only difference in the ball game, Lindsey Bryan's 3 trays in the first half. Right in front of us is Faith Johnson. She inbounds to Bryan. Bryan with the right hand yo-yo dribble. Swings it to Faith Johnson. Johnson now goes back to Bryan in the corner. Now goes up top, working around a defender. Behind the back dribble. Goes top of the key. Dribbles. Now picks it up. Goes back to Bryan. Bryan with a left-hand dribble. Now a kick. It'll go out of bounds. Last touch by the Express. Not a whole lot going on that sequence. I don't think they advanced the ball inside the three-point line. As Lindsey Bryan has it in her hand. As the Express kind of showing a little half-court trap. It's not very aggressive. The front line completely taking the air out of the ball. Now they attack the paint. Going back up top to Bryan, continuing to run clock. Nothing wrong with this. This is basically a running clock as long as the Express is content to not be aggressive and foul or not force the front line to make a play here. That's what they're going to continue to do. Stall ball, as I like to call it.
There's no need for them to really do anything else, but as we've talked so many times, in a game where there is stall ball, 9 times out of 10 they turn it over.
That time they didn't turn it over. They just missed the shot. Quickly back the other way. the Express get a bucket. That was Sarah Salama going all the way to the basket and finishing. She now has 4 points. That possession was probably 5 seconds long after the front line held onto the ball for at least 90 seconds. Johnson. Baseline driving was Ariana McFarland. Got her shot swatted out of bounds by Demerit. Lindsey Brown set to inbound. Goes into Johnson. Johnson back to Brown. She launches for three. In and out, no good. Demerit to Salama. Salama crosses half court. Has Lindsey Brown in her hip pocket. Now the Express looking for somewhere to go with it. Trailing by 15, 6.5 minutes. Entry pass to Demerit, picked off. And the front line are going the other way. Landers with the steal. Bryan with the ball. Goes to Johnson. Johnson back to Bryan. And stall ball begins. It appears, nope, they're going to launch a three from the corner. That was Landers. It was off the mark. Back the other way come the Express. Lynn down low to Salama, loses it out of bounds, and it'll go right back over to the front line. Okay, they haven't been overly impressive, but they haven't really needed to be. Defensively, they've shut the Express down. Going forward into bracket play, the front line are going to be one of the top seeds because they went unbeaten in pool play. How do you think that they're going to do once bracket play starts tomorrow?
I think they're, in my eyes, they're, if not the top team, one of the top 2 or 3, that we've definitely seen throughout these 2 days so far. Well, I guess 1.5 days. They've got Lindsey Bryan, the way she shoots the ball, along with Shelby and Faith Johnson. They've got a nice team that's all together, and they play well together as a team. I think this second half, they're just trying to get through. Just get to the buzzer.
Yeah, I mean, they've played
they're up
almost
15 points.
They've played almost 11 minutes, another miss for the front line, but they're going to have a second chance opportunity here. They've only scored 8 points. Another miss by Bryan. Shelby's right there, make it 10 points off the make. Shelby now has 10 points. They have 10 points in the second half. Is that a reason for concern?
No.
Off the miss. Front line back the other way. That was a lot of analysis. No.
Well, I mean, when you got how many points do the Cannon Express have this half?
They have 8.
All right. They're still beating in this half, and they're up 17 points. I don't think there's not much reason for concern when you're going to win your pool. You're going to be one of the top seeds in the bracket tomorrow. You've done what you want to do. They've completed their task at hand, and now they're going to bracket play. Now in bracket play, the games will get tougher and more competitive. They're not going to be able to have a half where they only have 10 points, but I think this half it's more of we're doing what we have to do to get to the buzzer. We're up 18 points.
Shelby made the first. We'll have one more. Free throw is up and off the front of the iron, no good. The Express ball. Running the other way is Sarah Salama. Salama trying to get past Shelby. She needs to get past half court, and she won't. She let it go just a little bit too late. And it turns back over to the front line, closing in on 4 minutes to go, 18-point lead. Pass to Shelby was picked off. And the Express going back the other way. And another interception. Shelby all the way. Left-hand layup good. (40-20). doubling them up again as Brian going to get called for the blocking foul. Davis. As Salama attacking the basket. Left-hand layup, no good.
Frontline up by 20. We might see the running clock here in the last couple minutes after Lacey able to get that one. She got hit pretty hard. Is she going to be all right?
I don't know. They're going to stop
Maybe
play.
a dead leg. She's got a dead leg. She'll walk it off. She's fine.
Made the basket. Got hurt, though.
She'll check out.
Sarah Salama going to her left, spinning around and nearly having her pocket picked by Ariana McFarland, but she's going to get whistled for the foul with 3:19 left. 22-point lead. The magic number is 25. If we get there, the clock will continue to run until the end. Nice backdoor cut again for Lynn, but she's not going to be able to finish. Gets it to a teammate, Riles, who goes up for the basket. Doesn't get it to fall.
And if you're the front line for this one, you'll take your victory. You know, take your victory, head into the Saturday, rest up here, and go get you a nice bite to eat as it's about dinner time. Oh, nearing 5 o'clock. It's going to probably be about 5 o'clock by the time this game's over. Hopefully not. That'd mean it takes another 20 minutes.
For 3 minutes left, yeah, it'd be a long time.
A lot of whistles.
42 to 21. I doubt that's.
They're just trying to hold it.
Yeah. Not a lot going on. Rose going to attack the basket. Can't get it to go. Ball goes out of bounds. Should be express ball. It is.
Nice entry pass down low. I'm going to get a foul on Johnson.
I'm Michael Knight. I'm joined by Matt Reynolds. At the conclusion of this game, we'll take about a 4-minute break, step aside for a little bit on the steal, the front line. Going to the basket, over the backboard, and out of bounds. There was just a little too much on that.
A little too tall. Just a tad.
Who was it in the NBA that did that a couple years ago? Was it JaVale McGee? I want to say it was JaVale McGee in a game, in the middle of a game. There's no excuse for him. These are just high schoolers. There's a little bit of an excuse. Plus, they're up by 21 points, so who cares? I want to say it was JaVale McGee. He's done a lot of dumb stuff, so him throwing it over the backboard, going up for a layup, will just add to that. Closing in on the final here. I started to say earlier, I'm Michael Knight, joined by Matt Reynolds. At the conclusion of this game, we will have a brief timeout in which I will step aside and let Matt take over. And he will bring you the first half solo of the Texas Lady Tigers Gold and the West Texas Wildcats. And the West Texas Wildcats standing on the sideline to the far side of us. And you can already tell their shorts extremely bright. Uniform tops bright as well. It's going to be extremely bright in this gym when they take the floor. Closing in on 1 minute, and in fact, we have dipped under a minute to play in this one, as the Frontline will be undefeated in pool play. They have won all 3 games and have been impressive in all of them. (42-21), ball tipped away, and it's going to go out of bounds. And right back to the Frontline. I'll join Matt at the start of the second half of the next game. And then the game after that, we'll have the Oklahoma Lady Vols taking on the Comets, scheduled for a 5:40 start.
That's not happening.
It is not happening. Then the last 3 games will feature Monroe against the Texas Lady Tigers, 2005 version. And then ETE against the Comets. And we will wrap things up on day number 2 with the Texas Lady Tigers 2015 against the West Texas Fuse, number 2. Sarah Salama working to her left. Now goes underneath to Demerit. She loses it out of bounds, and there's 7 seconds left. All they have to do is inbound it, and this game is over. Once again, if you're a Texas Frontline fan and you would like to recap any of the pool play victories, you can go to PrimeTimeSports.com and order any of their first 3 wins, as they will go into bracket play starting tomorrow, undefeated at 3-0. The final score, 44-21, as an impressive performance by the Texas Frontline defense, just completely shutting down the Texas Express.
Impressive performance, and Lindsey Bryan, she leads them on the attack of scoring. Look for her along with Lacey and Faith Johnson for them to make a deep run in bracket play that begins tomorrow.
As you can see, the West Texas Wildcats already on the floor, so we'll step aside, get prepared for our next game, probably put on some sunglasses so we're not blinded by the uniforms. So we'll step aside for about 4 minutes. When we come back, Matt Reynolds will bring you the play-by-play call. The West Texas Wildcats taking on the Texas Lady Tigers. Gold after this from the 2014 Primetime Sports National Championships from Carrollton, Texas at the IAD Gymnasium.